Hello Fantasy Leaguers, I am your host Cody Gregory, and I want to say thank you for tuning in for our final episode of Cody's Fantasy Corner. Playoffs are in the air for fantasy owners, and I hope that you will all be doing well going forward. Hopefully some of this information will give you, something to apply to your playoffs and hopefully maybe get you a win. Now remember, the premise of this show is to give you the best info for the up-and-coming week in your fantasy football leagues based on my own opinion and the research of various fantasy experts. Now let's get to it. I will be discussing the Adams segment for this week, and I will now start with the What's Grinding Gregory's Gears. I did this a couple episodes ago, and I really want to do it now because I watched last night's game and it got me going. So, who is grinding my gears? Maybe the guy who slipped for the potential 72-yard touchdown in last night's game. Or did he not slip? I hear speculations that the NBC wire, apparently that goes across the field, may have disrupted the path of the football, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Amari Cooper, who was ranked 7th among wide receivers in ESPN, put up 5 receptions for 29 yards. That's only 2 points in standard leagues. And it's playoffs. Come on, Amari. I will say this, though. It wasn't that much of a surprise because, since Week 7, he's been inconsistent. 2, 23, 3, 11, 2, 11, and then last night 2. So if, hopefully if the pattern keeps going and you somehow make it out of this week with his, his terrible effort, he'll give you a nice week of points next week. Now let's get to the Adams. I'm done with my rant. The first guy I want to start with is Charles Sims. Charles Sims is currently 11% owned, and just based on the fact that Doug Martin isn't actually, healthy enough, I think that Charles Sims could at some point come back and maybe be relevant. And if you keep going forward, you could possibly see him playing maybe even against the Saints. Now, that is the expectation, but it just depends on how his injury is going forward, and he should still be out there for you to get him. We saw him last season. He was amazing, so who knows, maybe he could get you a championship too. The next guy I want to go on to is wide receiver Malcolm Mitchell. He's 47.9% owned in ESPN leagues, and Mitchell was someone I was keeping my eye on for the last few weeks, especially when Gronkowski was out, and he delivered. 10 targets, 8 catches, and had 82 yards while playing 67 snaps. Now, he will be fixed into the Patriots passing game this next week as well, so look for him to have similar volume and also produce the same way. I think that you should definitely add him for your playoff roster. My last guy I want to talk about is Ladarius Green, 28.3% owned, playing for Pittsburgh. Green finally got his chance, and he got the increased playing time and looked awesome against the Giants. 17 fantasy points in standard leagues. He now has at least 67 receiving yards in 2 games in a row, and this could be the difference maker for fantasy owners such as yourself down the stretch. Going up against Buffalo next week, he has a great matchup. He has a great matchup against Cleveland, and I think that he would be a very nice option going forward for the playoffs. Well, that does it for me this year on Cody's Fantasy Corner. I want to say thank you to all of you who have been watching. Don't forget to follow me via Twitter at AUCFC, where I will answer any questions you may have. And from all of us here at AU Spartan Media, thank you, good luck, and have a happy holiday.